Hi, and welcome to day 1 of 30 in this Charisma 30-day challenge. My name is Cecilia Brännström, and I'm a vocal and neuroscience coach, and I'm here to guide you through these 30 days. And for now, I have 3 pieces of awesome news for you. And the first one, well, maybe it's not new to you, but for most people, this is mind-blowing. And you can change whatever you want to change. If there is a behavior you don't like in yourself, you can change it. And if there's a part of your personality that doesn't serve you anymore, you can grow beyond it. If you want to wake up feeling more motivated, feel happier, or maybe a little more wild and crazy, you can train that too. So you can literally reshape who you are. And this is called neuroplasticity. And what is neuroplasticity? And this is the first and the greatest news because until recently, we didn't know this was even possible. And neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to adapt, to grow, and to rewire itself. And it happens every moment of your life. So think about it. Are you the same person you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Of course not, because your brain is constantly changing based on the input you feed it, the thoughts you repeat, the emotions that you practice, and the people and media you surround yourself with. So the real question becomes, are you in control of those changes? Or are you letting your environment shape you? Because many people are more or less a product of social media, TV shows, news, and other people's expectations. Neuroplasticity is always on, but the power lies in choosing what you train. And here comes the second piece of the news. Not everyone uses their neuroplasticity. Yes, we all have it, but to activate it, you must first believe that change is possible. So, let me tell you about Roger Bannister. He was a very special guy who in 1954 ran the mile in under 4 minutes, the 4 minute mile. So, no one had never done it before. And the world thought it was physically impossible. And yet, when he did it, hundreds of people suddenly could do it too. So, what changes? Not their muscles, not their belief. And psychologist Carol Dweck, she calls this a growth mindset, the belief that you can learn, grow, and change through effort and strategy. So, people with a fixed mindset, they say, well, no, I can't do this. I can't dance. I can't sing. And my family always been tone deaf. But people with a growth mindset says, yeah, well, I cannot do this now, but I can train. Practice makes perfect. So, today, I know that you already have a growth mindset, otherwise, you wouldn't be here listening to me. So, I'll share a moment that changed my life, the moment that became the foundation of the Charisma Code. Years ago, I was backstage waiting for my name to be called, and the moderator's voice echoed, "Please welcome Cecilia Brännström." And my heart was pounding and the room was just spinning. And it was like I could see myself from above, slowly walking out onto the stage. And then my mind just went completely blank. And I had forgotten the opening phrase. It was gone. And I stood there frozen, and my breath was shallow, and panic started bubbling up from my stomach. And it felt like it was the longest seconds of my life. Then I heard someone cough in the audience, and that small human sound just snapped me back to the moment. And I took a deep breath and my line returned. And the presentation went fine, but something in me shifted because I realized I had felt those same sensations before, the racing heart, the adrenaline rush, and shaky hands. But when I sang on stage, I called it excitement. And when I spoke on stage, I call it fear. Same chemistry, different label. And that realization changed everything. And I didn't want this to happen anymore. So I took a decision. I started studying neurotransmitters like dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, cortisol, testosterone, and how they shape our emotions and performances. So I learned how to prime my chemistry consciously through breath, posture, and focus and thought. And I didn't silence my nerves, I retrained them. So adrenaline became energy, fear became focus, and chaos became charisma. And that is neuroplasticity in action. Repetition, reframing, and choice. Because you decide how you want to show up. And every time I stood up and repeated that story in my mind, it strengthened my new neural path until it became me, the charismatic communicator. Okay, so let me give you a picture of how this works. So imagine you're in Sweden in July, it's evening, and it's golden light over a glowing wheat field. And you take one walk through it, and when you turn around, the wheat looks almost untouched. Walk that same path 100 times, and a faint trail appears. Walk it 10,000 times, and it becomes a clear dirt road. And that is how habits form in your brain through repetition, repetition, repetition. Old patterns, self doubt, fear, hesitation are this well worn path. And when you decide to change, you start walking a new path. At first, it feels hard, and your brain says, "Oh, this takes too much energy. Go back the old way." But if you keep repeating, you keep walking, you keep repeating that new path, and it becomes like a dirt road, and eventually the old one grows over, and the new one becomes an easy road. And that is neuroplasticity. That is charisma training. So, here is your first mission in this 30-day charisma challenge. I want you to decide who you want to become. And I want you to say it out loud. I choose to become charismatic, one breath at a time. And that simple decision activates your neuroplasticity. Because from this moment on, you are not waiting for confidence. You are training it. So, welcome to day 1 of the Charisma Code Challenge. You have just taken your first step towards rewiring your brain for confidence, connection, and authentic influence. See you tomorrow.